There are a few points I would definitely highlight here. Look for someone who has specific EB5 experience. As I mentioned to you, I approached um, the law firm which my company was using, and they didn't seem to have as much experience. And then, based on my interviews with different types of EB5 attorneys, I found out that they had different or varied types of experiences. So having a very specific EB5 experience definitely helps. I would say consult multiple attorneys, compare their responsiveness, their level of engagement, etc. Most importantly, I would say evaluate your risk. Evaluate your risk from few aspects in terms of source of funds and documentation that you would be providing. What's the level of understanding of the attorneys in relation to the tax codes? It's not that they need to know the complete tax codes or anything, but they should have been exposed to those things so that they understand, what's in there. Also, risk from the perspective of what do you want to choose? Do you want to choose rural versus urban, and why you want to choose that? Timelines associated with each of these processes, and whether you're interested more in just getting your EAD and getting your AP approved, or you're okay with urban, where you would still get the EAD and AP, but maybe not your green card as quickly as possible because your kids probably are already green card holders, so you have some time or you have a runway there. I would suggest prepare some set of questions for sure. So just watching the videos, which I did, uploaded by EB5AN, on what to ask. Yeah, and ask for referrals if available, I would say. So several factors guided me in my project selection. One of them was going to be, it was important that it was a rural TA designation. That was primarily because rural TA are prioritized over some of the other projects, and I could also take advantage of the lower investment threshold, priority processing benefits. That's what I wanted to focus on. Another important aspect was shortest capital engagement term. For example, I was focused on selecting a project where the capital commitment timeline, et cetera, was shortest, but still met the USCIS requirements. The developer had to be reputable. If possible, the exemplar approval for the project, that was important as well. And the job creation, obviously, that's the central point, right? So whether these projects had the job creation as they claimed done. These are some of the key things that I was focusing on. This was way back in July. And that at that time, I think Snake River, you guys had just submitted the documentation for the Snake River project. There was no exemplar approval at the point, but it met majority of other key factors that I was looking at. I wanted to make sure that the money that I'll be investing, it was promptly put to work, ensuring the loan term began early. So for the rural project of Snake River, I found out that was perfect, that fit the bill. So that was one of the reasons I went with the Snake River rural project.
Got it. And how did the rural TEA versus urban, what was critical for you in terms of deciding between urban versus rural?
So that's a very important question, because as I mentioned, we are Canadians. Both my kids were born in Canada. Now, I wanted to make sure that I could give them the benefit of the EB5 immediately, because my eldest one, she's going to be going to university this year, and I wanted to make sure that she didn't have to jump through the hoops or go through the F1 visa process and such. So I wanted to go for something which would give me a clear pathway for her. And rural TEA obviously gave me that opportunity over urban. And that did really help us because this year when she heads over to university, she already has her EAD and our AP approved and 526 approved. We are just waiting for our conditional green card to arrive. So this gives her a better picture. It's more secure for her at this point in time. So for other investors, if you have determined that EB5 program is your pathway for your permanent residency, I would say don't delay, act quickly because of potential changes that potentially could be introduced through either administrative or congressional divisions. I would say it's important that you read up what's happening. One benefit is that you can begin the process with a partial investment and commit to funding, which is exactly what I did. The balance could be done within a reasonable time frame. I did take a benefit of that opportunity, and then I would say conduct thorough research, compare multiple EB5 regional centers, look at their history, transparency, approval track record is very important. I would say investor testimonials, select the project that aligns with your individual priorities, right? For instance, some may prioritize shorter capital commitment or better financial results. In my case, selecting a rural TA project made the most sense due to priority processing and lower investment thresholds. This journey definitely lasts several years and things can change. As of now, USCIS seems to be operating relatively close to published timelines, which presents an opportunity window that may not last, I'm assuming. It's important to spend time selecting the right immigration attorney, the right regional center. They are your key partners in navigating this complex process. So yeah, those are important things to consider, I would say.